I ask you that question because I've interviewed a lot of athletes, and I've talked to a lot of athletes that had drug addictive problems, drinking problems, and I asked them, what forced you? What brought you to do drugs? What brought you to drink the way you did? And some people said the family life at home. Some people would say the friends that they hung out with, or the girlfriend that just depressed them, or there were just so many different answers I got from different athletes. So when I ask you why you did it, and it was a good answer, because in the 70s, I know my mom grew up in the 70s as well, and she was a party animal, and she would tell me some of the things that she did, and you look at my mom now, and I would be like, you never did that. There's no way in hell you did that. And you realize how different the millennial kids are compared to us. I mean, Speedy over here sitting right next to me, he's 23 years old. You know what I mean? 24 years old. I'm 37. So I come from a different era where it's a different, different style, different things that we did at his age that the kids are doing differently now. So I ask you that question because I think a lot of the fans that listen to this story and hear your story are going to understand the reasoning behind on why you used them and how you got through them. And my question for you, before I let Speedy ask his question, is how long have you been sober? And what has driven you to stay sober the way you have in the last couple of years?
The answer I'm going to give you is 15 years in sobriety now.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks. Working on 16, and the only credit I give for my sobriety today is the man upstairs. I don't take any credit for it, and that all worked through the 12-step program. That was it. I could get into a whole thing on the 12 steps. I'm well schooled in that area, and just to give you a crash course, the 12 steps are designed that if you go through them correctly in a timely manner, that you'll have a spiritual awakening and develop a relationship with a power greater than you. And that's exactly what I did. And so what keeps me sober today is trying to follow God's will on a daily basis and stay out of my head and stay out of trying to manage my life and to focus on helping others. And that's what does it. When we're helping other people, I'm okay. But when I'm sitting alone and I get in my head, I'm in trouble. So we just need to stay focused and in the forefront of my mind. I just need to know that, I've been blessed to be involved in the sport, and I've been blessed to reunite with Glenn and be married to a magnificent wife and have kids. And, it's an amazing deal, but all the credit goes to God, man. I don't have any other answers for you there.
Mike, you mentioned in your story that getting sober is not just about getting sober, it's a deeper meaning than that. What specific parts of your life do you consider as being part of that deeper meaning? I know you have your Racing for Recovery program, which you said you were helping out tons of people. But is there any other facets of life that you getting sober at the moment of time in your life where you did really meant to you and maybe thought of it as a new phase in your life?
That's a good question. That was a pretty good question.
I'm trying to figure the question out. Maybe with that one more time.
I was saying, in your story, it says, I have know that it has nothing to do with being sober. It's a lot deeper than that. What is that deeper meaning that you have in terms of getting sober at this point and how it impacts your life throughout? What facets of your life?
There's a misnomer out there that, and there's a lot of paradoxes in recovery, and a lot of people on the outside looking in don't get this. But what I mean by that is being sober for an addict or alcoholic is the problem. Okay. And for me, drugs and alcohol were always my solution. So sobriety, right? If you just stop using and put the plug in the jug, right, what you're left with is a highly strained, abnormal human being. And what's going to happen at that point is you're going to get hit with life on life's terms, and emotions are going to affect you. You're not going to be able to deal with any of those things And the first thing that comes to mind that will fix that is going back to using, because that does it for you. It fixes it every time. So what I mean by a lot deeper in sobriety is that it requires you to go out and do the work that they ask you to do in the 12-step program, so that you can acquire the spiritual awakening that I'm talking about. Because that's the only answer. There's no cure for drug and alcohol addiction. It can be treated through a 12-step program, and if you devote your life to it and devote your life to helping other people, then you're good to go. But the minute you turn inward and start worrying about you, you're on the wrong track, and you're heading right back to getting high and drunk again. And it's really that simple.
We are speaking to Mike Hepp. He created a company and an organization with his friend Glenn called the Racing for Recovery. Mike, my question and my last question for you, I'm looking at your website. It's an incredible website. If you guys want to check out his website, go to competitionplus.com. Again, it's competitionplus.com. What was your drive to create this website with your friend Glenn?
Well, hang on a second, because you just get Competition Plus was an article.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We just did an article on us. Our website is Mike Hepp Racing.
Oh, there it is. I'm looking at this Competition Plus website, and it's got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that was an article that just had come out in Competition Plus magazine. Our website, if you're looking for help, you can go to Mike Hepp Racing, the number 4, recovery.com. Or if you just want to check out the racing side of things, you can go to MikeHeppRacing.com.
I'm looking at it right now. But I was looking at the Competition Plus, and it's an incredible website. I was going up and down. I thought it was your website because that's what you sent me. But tell us a little bit about your website and why people should go on your website if they need help and for recovery. Why should they go to your website, and what could you guys do for the people out there that are looking for recovery?
One of the things we do is we level the playing field. In other words, when somebody newly comes about, like say somebody wants to get help and they're struggling real bad, and they're at the point where they're ready to stick a gun in their mouth and they've had it. There's a lot of fear that surrounds that. Like, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I reach out for help? And so that's what we're here for. You pick up the phone, you're not talking to somebody that's in a treatment center that has no idea what's going on about addiction. You're talking to an addict that's been through it and understands it and levels the playing field. A lot of times folks call up and they just get an operator and there's no personal connection, and so we try to establish a rapport with somebody on the phone and level the playing field and say, look, we've been in your boat, we've been in your shoes. If you're ready, we're ready. We'll help you. Our motto is fast help for addiction, right? And if you're ready to do the work, we're ready to get you help. And we provide resources for detox, inpatient treatment, housing, and employment, and that's the 4 key components to the program. So if you're actively using booze or drugs and alcohol, it's imperative that you get to the right facility to detox, because if you try to detox yourself, it's deadly. So you need to get into a facility that can handle that, and we can guide you through that process and get you to those facilities, no matter where you are in the U.S. Because it's a national platform that we have, a national program that we have. Then we can get you into an inpatient treatment facility for whatever your insurance allows. And then, of course, from there, a lot of times folks that are in treatment for a long period of time don't have anywhere to live or nowhere to go. So we've networked with recovery homes throughout the U.S. so we can help get you placed in a place to live. And then we just took it a little step further, and we worked with the Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry and with other entities throughout the country to help folks get resumes set up and be able to go out and find a job, whether it's a menial job or whatever.
That's amazing.
Just get you back into
absolutely amazing. It really is.
Mike, you mentioned in your story, you talk about an event with Tony Schumacher, who was one of your favorite drivers. Talk about how that experience impacted your life, not only as obviously a fan of his, but also what he helped you through, the advice that he gave you at the events that you went through. How did that experience change your life, as well as the Racing for Recovery program that you ended up building as a result?
Well, one of the things, he was a guy when I initially wanted to get back into the racing. I wanted to go top fuel racing, and I was looking for somebody to mentor me, and there was a couple of people that I was looking at, and Tony was one of them. And here's a guy that is an 8-time top fuel world champion that never met me before in his life, ever. It's the first time I set foot back on a drag strip in 2012, and I went there for the sole purpose to ask him to help me. And when I got there, and he was signing autographs, and he's at the ropes talking to people and all, and I kind of almost backed away, but my stepdaughter Deanna said, "No, we came all the way over here. You got to ask him." So the long and short of it, he kind of looked over and saw I was getting ready to leave, and he goes, "What's up?" And I just said to him, "Look, man," I said, "I just wanted to talk to you for a couple of minutes to see if you'd be willing to help me out." And I says, "Yeah, as soon as I'm done." So he got done signing some autographs and invited me into his pit area, and he said, "What can I do for you?" And I said, "Look," I said, "I struggled with addiction for 30 years. I'm trying to work my way into a professional racing career, and I was wondering if you'd be willing to help me out." And the guy said, "Absolutely. Here's my telephone number. I'll call you." And I never thought in a million years that he would actually do that. And I was on the job 2 weeks after that event. He called me, and he guided me to Doug Foley School, and I wound up getting my Super Comp license, and we've become really good friends over the years. And he's just there to be. He's a great guy, and he's there, and he's mentored me, and he's guided me along through the process. And with this new deal that we have coming up this year with Tom Pickett Racing up in New Hampshire, I credit Tony for that, because he was the guy that said just keep plugging away at it. And I never, here's a guy that was homeless, showering behind dumpsters, and interacting with an 8-time top fuel world champion. That's pretty incredible stuff.
Mike, why don't you tell the fans how they can find you, how they can find your organization, and how they can reach you?
You can go right on the website. You go to MikeHeppRacing.com. There's some links on there. You can click on Racing for Recovery if you're having an issue with, struggling with alcohol or drugs. You can call us, and or you can go right to Mike Hepp Racing, the number 4recovery.com. Either or you can call us on the phone at 215-464-6446. And reach out if you know somebody struggling. We're here to help you guys, and that's what we're doing.
Any upcoming events that we can promote, or maybe even come down where you're at, so we can help you promote your event over there? Maybe do a live show over there at your event.
We'd love to do that. That'd be awesome. Maybe do a deal right from the track. We've got some regional events scheduled at this point on the website. You can go on the 2020 schedule on the website and look at those. But we have, I think, 5 national events lined up this year. We would love to have you guys out for that. It'd be awesome. Oh,
we would love to come out there and do some giveaways and have some fun with the fans and pick on Speedy right next to us. So that would be great.
Of course.
I mean, we can pick on him and smack him around a couple of times. What do you think about that?
Absolutely.
Mike, thank you for joining us, my friend.
Thanks for having me. It's been a great time, guys.
We will stay in touch. I absolutely will stay in touch with you. I would love to do a couple events with you. I love what you guys are doing over there for your recovery organization.
I wanted to give a shout out to Joey. Tell him thanks a million, for helping us out with this. He's one of my best friends, man. And
great guy.
Wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here tonight with you guys. So I just wanted to say thanks.
He is a great guy. I'll tell you this right now. I work with him. I actually work with him tonight. He is an excellent guy, great person, and I can't say anything bad about him. So I'm happy.
If I can, if I have a second, just to mention a couple people, and then I'll cut you loose. I just want to thank the United States Motorsports Association, Sean, for all he does. Rob's Automotive Collision, Mega Construction, and CG Airworks. For all their support. And guys, stay in touch, and we'll certainly have you out to a race. We'd love to have you out.